Going on, everybody? It's Slava P by my book Bad Trips, and in my last video talking about how I watched RuPaul in jail, I had a little throwaway comment about explaining cisgender to a lifer. You guys seem to like it, so let me tell you that story. First and foremost, want to make sure you guys go like and subscribe. You know, my YouTube channel, sometimes I'll do shorts. We're gonna have a lot of fun this incoming winter, but most importantly, I want you guys to go out there and buy my book Bad Trips by Slava Pastuk. It's a really well written book, and I'm not just saying that because I wrote it. Trust me, go check it out. It'll change your life. But anyway, let's get into it today. What are we going to talk about? Me telling a lifer about the concept of cisgender. Let's go. So a lot of people would ask me, what's the hardest part about prison? Is it the food? Is it the isolation? Is it the looming threats of violence upon your body? No. The truth is that none of that matters as much as the true punishment, which is kind of just being put into a place that time does not exist in. This means that I am trying to explain modern gender terminology to a 60-year-old lifer who's been incarcerated for longer than Wikipedia has existed. I'm talking about people who watched 9/11 happen on the prisons in jail, and I'm talking to them about it in 23. Not even 23. Boom, let me take you guys back. So it's actually 20 that I go inside. 21, we have the crazy, like reckoning, whatever you want to call it now. Pretty much, George Floyd. The world is burning, COVID's in full swing, race riots seem to be happening, and inside, man, we're all just bored out of our minds. Granted, it is a little bit more fun than being on road and having to go through lockdown, because at least you're already locked down and at least you're with the man-dem who already know you're not infected. So we were given a lot more freedoms than you guys had at the time, for sure. But you have to understand that in prison, the TV is God, okay? Anything it says on there goes. So that means, like, we're mainstream media pill. There's no alternative news. The closest that people got to being any sort of exposed to a lifestyle that was not their own was when I forced them to watch RuPaul's Drag Race on the main TV. Go check out my other video about that. But you have to understand the demographics of jail, all right? It's going to be mostly, African, Jamaican. You got some Russians in there, some like Slavic people, a couple Italian guys, I guess, some Greek guys. But one thing that you don't have is a lot of guys who like aspire to the "Yes, Queen" ideology. Let's just say that. It's actually a melting pot of homophobia, if you think about it. But there was one guy in there, and he's like a real country bumpkin type. He was from Northern Ontario, big handlebar mustache. He was in there for shooting a police officer who he was. Anyway, I won't get into it. But he really did not love the RuPaul shit at all. Everybody else kind of just they didn't laugh it off exactly, but they kind of understood where I was coming from, and I was trolling. This one guy, bro, he was really cheesed at me. He did not understand what was going on. And he wasn't even super religious or anything. He just really did not fuck with it. He wouldn't even look at the TV when he was walking through the kitchen. He would just mumble under his breath. So inevitably, as I'm watching these shows, questions start coming around. Everybody's always questioning my sexuality. I'm like, bro, trust me, I'm good. You know what I mean? But this guy was super uncomfortable. Anyway, he pages a meeting of the whole range. Paging is when you call someone to atone for some inconveniences you may have caused. You may page a man for taking up your space in the fridge or something, but whatever. Anyway, and honestly, after that conversation that started off a little bit, dramatic, we ended up coming into good terms because I tried to explain to him as best I could what the fuck the show was all about. He's asking me, yo, why are you watching this if you're not gay? And I'm like, fam, it's entertainment. Do not think that this is the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life. And this starts a different conversation altogether, because there's a black inmate there too. And there's a show called P-Valley. All right, now I don't know if you guys have seen P-Valley, but there's a very effeminate gay man on the show, and he ends up hooking up with this very macho rapper, the male lead who's a macho rapper. So the black inmate, he felt like it was going out of its way to feminize the black man. He's seeing characters shaking ass and getting emasculated, and it made him feel uncomfortable too. But me, I'm always a contrarian, but I still want to help people understand. So really, this was all part and parcel of the same problem to me. And that came down to the fact that I had to explain what cisgender meant to them, because when I started, they just kept saying, "So you mean normal? It's normal." And I'm and they're gay, and then just, people like me were normal. And I'm yeah, the idea of what's normal has shifted quite a bit since a lot of these people were in. Even if they've only been in for 5 years, you have to kind of appreciate how fast and quickly, with how much philosophy we've kind of moved forward on that one topic. Much so that there's been a lot of pushback, I guess. But this whole vocabulary game did not exist for them in the past, right? So I just kind of explained that, look, cisgender just means you identify as the gender you were assigned at birth. And they didn't know what assigned at birth meant, so I just had to end up saying, well, it's the opposite of trans. Now, they thought that trans people were gay. They thought, you know what, to be honest with you, RuPaul probably did not help in this situation, because those were not trans women, but they were gay men acting like women, but that's not trans. So if you go from not knowing anything to having to watch RuPaul, I could probably, in hindsight, understand how that could be a little scary. But I thought I did like a pretty good explanation of the whole topic, except I looked around the room after, and everybody was looking at me like even more confused than they were originally when they just asked for an explanation. And the problem is that these guys are frozen in the same age they were when they got in. When you get sentenced, that's it. Your life gets put on hold until you touch road again. The idea that you now need a specific word to describe not trans was insane to them. And I realized in that moment I was not going to change a single mind. You can't explain Twitter discourse to a guy who thinks the internet is just for looking up naked pictures. The closing argument, the mic drop moment, if you will, ended up being this. Listen, guys, it may hurt you to hear this, but the world is a whole lot gayer and a whole lot blacker than it was when you went in. And then I went back to watching Drag Race, at least until the Raptors game came on. Folks, if you like this story, don't forget to subscribe and like my channel. Buy my book, Bad Trips. It's out there as well. And if you have any other content ideas you want from me, let me know, man. It's December. I'm in Toronto. It's snowing. It's beautiful. Perfect content to make weather.